To intimidate the slaves, the god of the desert removed his mask of power. Pharaoh revealed his true form. However, beneath the majestic and solemn mask was the face of a teenager. He was the god who originated human civilization, having lived for over 10,000 years. But no one knew. Pharaoh's true identity was a plunderer from a distant planet. To break free from the chains of death, he transferred his soul into a human body. Yet, human bodies are extremely fragile, though they can be easily repaired with a certain mineral. However, this substance does not exist on Earth. Thus, Pharaoh opened a Stargate, transporting ancient Egyptian slaves to another planet to serve him. He proclaimed himself the sun god, ruling over humanity with cruelty. But as Earth civilization advanced by leaps and bounds, the oppressed humans could no longer endure. They seized the right moment, toppled the Stargate used for transportation, and buried it deep underground, cutting off the evil sun god's passage to Earth. They thought this chapter of history would fade with time. However, in 1928, archaeologists accidentally unearthed a metal ring covered in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. The military spent years researching it to no avail, until a history professor named Daniel appeared. He held unique insights into the origin of civilizations, boldly guessing that the pyramids were by no means the work of humans. Daniel possessed extraordinary linguistic talent. He soon discovered that those symbols actually represented constellations in the sky. He immediately warned the military high command. The symbols on the stone cover were not text, but a complete interstellar navigation system. They successfully deciphered the method to use the Stargate. The staff entered the coordinates, and the Stargate immediately began to operate at high speed, locking onto 7 coordinates one by one, bursting forth with powerful energy in an instant. The Stargate reopened. The military immediately dispatched a rover into the portal. The computer showed that the rover had traveled hundreds of millions of light years in just a few seconds, successfully reaching another planet in the universe. But just then, the rover's signal suddenly went offline, and the water-like curtain of the Stargate dissipated. It turned out that the general, fearing exposure of Earth's coordinates, had resolutely cut off the connection. The general intended to terminate the operation, but unexpectedly, Daniel volunteered, taking the initiative to shoulder the arduous task of crossing the Stargate. Considering that only he could decipher the alien language, the general finally approved the exploration plan and ordered a colonel to lead an armed team for protection. When everything was ready, all soldiers lined up for duty. Filled with a strong desire for knowledge, Daniel stepped into the Stargate. In just an instant, his entire body was decomposed into molecular state, crossing hundreds of millions of light years along the wormhole tunnel. When everyone regained consciousness, they found themselves in a dim and lifeless alien structure.